Death of a language. How many languages do you speak? How many are spoken in your school? What about your town, or even in your own country? Altogether, people around the world speak about 7,000 languages. There used to be many more. Today, about half of the world's spoken languages are endangered. Experts say that another language becomes extinct every 2 weeks. I'm sure you've heard the words extinct and endangered. You may have even used them in school. Usually, these words describe plants and animals that are in danger of dying out. But linguists also use them to describe dying languages. You may ask yourself, how do languages die? Well, they die when people stop using them. But most people don't just stop speaking their native language. It's more complex than that. More often, they're either pressured or forced to do so. One example is when people move to a different country. They're often pressured to speak the area's dominant language instead of their own. This leads many immigrants to stop using their native language. They might not even teach it to their children. Slowly, the native language dies out. In other cases, people are forced to stop speaking their language. For many years, the United States, Canada, and Australia forced children from indigenous cultures to live in residential schools. At these schools, the children had to learn English. Adults punished the children when they spoke their native languages. This traumatized the children. That trauma still affects indigenous people today, and many indigenous languages are extinct because of these actions. Sometimes languages shift or evolve instead of becoming extinct. Some people think that Latin is a dead language. In a way, it is. No one today speaks Latin as their native language, but that doesn't mean it's extinct. People still use Latin in many ways. Scientists use it to name plants and animals. The language is also common in religions, especially Catholicism. In fact, Latin is the official language of Vatican City. Latin isn't extinct, but it isn't commonly spoken anymore. Latin was the language of the Roman Empire. It spread far and wide. Then, in 476 CE, the Roman Empire fell. Instead of going extinct, Latin evolved. In a way, the language is still alive today. It became the Romance languages: Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, and Romanian. Language is closely tied to culture. That means the death of a language hurts people's ability to take part in cultural traditions. They might lose access to stories and knowledge that were passed down for many years. This is one reason why many people today are working to save dying languages. Some young people learn the language of their ancestors as adults. Linguists travel the world to record the last native speakers of dying languages. Some native speakers even write dictionaries in their language. They do so in hopes that future generations will bring the language back to life. Many educational programs today also work to help preserve native languages and cultures. One example is the Family and Child Education, or FACE program, which was started in 1990 by the Bureau of Indian Education, designed as a family literacy program for American Indian families. It integrates language and culture to better prepare children on rural reservations for school. There are plenty of things that people can do to help protect their languages. Think about your native language. What things would you do to help protect it? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe so that you know when the next story is posted.